also going to go ahead and go through the reopening plan with you. Super exciting, super important. So basically, starting on September 6th, like we said in church today, there's going to be 2 options for your kids to enjoy services. So we'll continue doing a kids service during, or a kids message during first service, so that kids watching the live stream can enjoy that, or kids who still want to be with their parents can enjoy that. And then at 10:30, we will be opening up for our Kingdom Kids experience. So starting September 6th, we will have 1 service of Kingdom Kids, and that will be nursery, preschool, elementary school, and we'll actually have middle schoolers with the elementary schoolers, which we'll get into that plan in just a second. But as far as new regulations go, I think for the most part, we're starting to get familiar with, the regulations that we have on meeting in spaces, and everything is new and everything is different. But essentially, we're approaching it as we are all one church, and so our kids are going to reflect our adult services. And as long as there is a mask mandate in the state of Minnesota, we will require masks for elementary because it specified ages 6 and older. So we'll have masks in that room, and we'll also require our volunteers to wear masks. And then because of that age, starting at age 6, kids are supposed to wear masks. We will say that masks are not required for kids in preschool and nursery, but are still required for volunteers. So in our elementary, we have plans to do our best with social distancing. We have chairs spread out. We're going to have some X's on the floors during activities. So we're going to try our best with that. And we're going to say for preschool and nursery, I don't think that is super feasible. So our plan right now is just to say everyone is aware of the risks that are out there, and it's everyone's choice whether they want to come to nursery and preschool or not. We will not be social distancing from your babies. We will be holding them, loving them, caring for them. So that's what that is going to look like. So we can take a look at this breakdown. So just kind of how we plan to move forward, some detail things with our nursery. We're going to try to have 3 team members every service there. So for that 1 service every Sunday, 3 team members. They're loving and caring for those babies. And then we also plan to have 3 team members leading story songs and activities in preschool. And then in elementary school, we will have a couple team members, and we will be, doing, it'll look essentially the same or very similar schedule-wise, but just kind of doing those services with that amount of volunteers. And then we will get into middle school, kind of the plan there in just a second. But essentially, we're going to have middle schoolers with the elementary schoolers, but leading them in certain elements. So they will be on the team as well, which is super exciting. And for the time being, we will not have our Wednesday night services, just as we're, kind of slowly reopening, and we'll let you guys know when that part of the reopening plan comes into play, but we don't have a set date for that yet. So we'll go ahead and do a breakdown of each group. So currently, we are actually hiring in our children's ministry department. We're looking for an early childhood director who's going to be overseeing preschool and nursery. But until we find that person that God has for us, we have just a certain way that we're going to do nursery and preschool. And essentially what I'm looking for is for 2 people in the nursery and 2 people in preschool who would want to step up and say, hey, I would like to be a lead team member for this. And that person, every other week, they would be just kind of the point person in the room. So for nursery, that'll look a little simpler, but every other week you would be on being the point person, communicating with parents, making sure everything's running smoothly. And then for preschool, we'd have our lead person every other week, teaching the class and getting everything. We would give you the curriculum, we would give you the materials you need, all of that good stuff, but just kind of executing that. So we're looking for 2 people in nursery, 2 people in preschool to kind of take that lead position, and then we'll have the other volunteers assisting and supporting during that service. So that's what our Kingdom Kiddos breakdown looks like. And then we have Kingdom Kids itself, and this is just kind of what the schedule looks like. It's not too different, I don't think, from how it's been in the past, but essentially we'll have welcome time, and we have some new exciting welcome activities for kids as they're coming in. And then everyone will gather, we'll do announcements and a verse. After that, we will go ahead and do worship, 1 or 2 songs, dancing together, having a super fun time, like with our VBS. Then we'll have a game, a message, and then we'll have a large group discussion time where kids and leaders can just kind of respond to the message. And maybe that'll be a prayer time sometimes, maybe it'll be discussion, but we'll just have that response time. And then we will release from there. So that's what the plan looks like for Kingdom Kiddos, for Kingdom Kids. And then we're also just going to go ahead and share what the plan looks like for middle school, because middle school will be involved with kids now. So Kelsey is just going to come up and share a little bit about that.
Howdy. So we are going to, with this next phase, which it's new, obviously, we wanted to have something for our middle school kids to be involved and be a part of it. Our vision has always been, we want them to have a place to come, but to encourage them and equip them so that they could then start to serve, to really be a part of that ABC and the C part. And so this is going to be their opportunity during the season to do that. So while it'll be birth through elementary, our middle schoolers will be able to meet as well and be leaders. So we have a few areas for them to do that. 4:12 is 1 Timothy 4:12, where it talks about don't let anyone look down on you because of your age. And so we want to teach them that they can be leaders at that age. So what it'll look like is we'll have them meet at 10:30, and then they'll meet with me while the kids are over with the volunteers, and they will learn what the needs are for that day. We're going to have a tech person if they want to run the slides. And then the 412 person, what that would mean is they want to be an example. They want to show the kids how to play the game with a good attitude, how to play with others, how to include them. When they go to worship, how do you worship with that right attitude, and be an example, be a living example. So if they want to be a part of the worship team, they could get with Pastor Rachel, and then they'll actually learn the moves and the dances, and that might be a way that they can get plugged in. If they want to be a part of the game time, they'll meet with Pastor Rachel. She'll tell them what the game is that day. And I can tell you from experience at camp, when you have younger kids leading the game, it's so much more fun. They really, really engage with that. And so I think that'll be a draw as well. And then they'll be a part during the message time, and then we'll get to break off and have our own special time, me with my middle school kids. And it'll actually be the same lesson that they're learning, that the younger kids are learning, but we'll get to have older, talk with them. So it'll be real personal and relevant to them. And so that's the vision we have for this, like I said, this new season where the middle schoolers can have a chance to plug in and still grow and be working through their ABCs. So yeah.